Former President Trump humiliates Kamala during a primetime football game with Alabama versus Georgia. And what's interesting, this happens on the same day that new polling comes out and continues to spell bad news for her campaign. It sounds like a broken record every time I have to say that recently, but that's what the numbers continue to show. So what we're going to do is react to an interview he did there at the game. We're going to look at these polls and just react to it all. And where we're going to start first is a rally that he did earlier where he had a few choice words for Kamala Harris. Let's listen.
She let in, and that's not even mentioning the rapists, the gang members, the drug dealers, the child predators, and the traffickers in women, mostly women. Joe Biden became mentally impaired. Kamala was born that way. She was born that way. And if you think about it, only a mentally disabled person could have allowed this to happen to our country. Anybody would know this.
Yeah. Now, if you want to know what is he referencing, what is the context to, or that would make him say something like that, we're talking about that bombshell report that dropped a couple of days ago in regards to how many convicted murderers were allowed into this country unchecked. Obviously, he's mad about that. I would be too, of course. And I do think it's disturbing, especially when that information has not been talked about and it's kind of been swept under the rug. And this is his biggest strength in this campaign is immigration. She cannot compete with him on that. So I thought those words were fitting for what's taking place results wise. You know, you're going to have people come out and take it personal and say, he's mean, he's mean, he's mean. I'd rather my commander in chief be mean, but he's getting things done instead of my commander-in-chief who's very nice but she doesn't get anything done. Which one do you prefer, right? So that's what I take away from this. So that leads to later in the day where Donald Trump arrives at the primetime football game. Let's take a look. Yeah, now we would expect that type of response. This is Alabama. It's a red state, of course. A lot of conservatism in the community. And such a warm welcome for the former president. Now, if you thought that was crazy, wait till he gets to the skybox and people see him on the screen. I mean, the entire arena went crazy, which is just insane. And, you know, this just speaks to the type of person he is, the energy that he draws from a crowd. And this is why, obviously, people in Washington don't like him, because the rules that he gets to play by is a little different than other politicians, of course. And he has a lot of support in the community with regular working class people. It just shows up when he has to go places, especially at sporting events. The reaction is always wild. Now, of course, he did do an interview with Clay Travis from Outkick, and I thought that was interesting. I think we'll get a kick out of it. Watch this.
When you came down the staircase 2015, you said your primary campaign was about people coming across the border and the fact that they were sending dangerous criminals. Numbers came out. Over 400,000 criminals 13,000 murderers, 15,000 rapists. You know who hasn't covered it? New York Times, CBS, Washington Post, all the people who criticized you. Were even you stunned by how big those numbers were?
Well, I knew they were big, but nobody thought they could be. 435,000 criminals, 13,099 murderers, and nobody's ever had anything. And they're released into our country. Nobody knows who they are. They weren't checked. They weren't vetted. You would have done that, but they aren't vetted or checked or anything else. And it's so sad to see. And you know what? This is a disqualifier for her. It's just a disqualifier for Harris. You know, when you say Harris, nobody knows who she is. But this is a total disqualifier for Kamala, and she shouldn't even be allowed to run. It was her policy that allowed this to happen. This is an invasion of our country like nobody ever thought. And nobody could have believed. You know, numbers like that, those numbers have never been released. Murderers. Somebody in there said, we got to release them because it's going to destroy our country. How they got released is, in a way, it's a miracle because they've never been released. Think of it, 13,099 murderers, and these are convicted killers, and they're now roaming around our fields, our streets, our cities, our towns, and it's going to be trouble for a long time, and it's all because of Kamala. She is the worst border czar. She said she's not a border czar, but she was in charge of the border no matter how you want it.
Yeah, isn't it interesting that these numbers have never been released until now? You know, it's similar to the Department of Justice. After the debate, someone from the Department of Justice leaked the numbers that proved that what Donald Trump was saying was correct, that the crime data from FBI is actually under-reporting what the numbers are. I think that's encouraging, that there are people still in the government who are like, wait a minute, we got to get this out here because this is crazy. So good on them to release those numbers. And Donald Trump's campaign knows if they continue to make this entire election about the economy, about affordability, about immigration, he's going to win. No question. And so that's why she's trying to do whatever she can to make this election more about Donald Trump is mean, and we don't want that in our leadership. And what we need is people who are nice and respectful towards each other. And the reality is everyone is mean in Washington. That's the funny part about it. Now, the reason why we titled this video today that Trump humiliates Kamala is because she attempted to humiliate him at the game by dropping an attack ad while everybody's watching the game, of course. And so let's just take a look at that ad quickly and react to it.
Winners never back down from a challenge. Champions know it's anytime, any place. But losers, they whine and waffle and take their ball home.
Trump now refusing to debate a second time.
He did terribly in the last debate. He's so easily triggered by Kamala Harris.
Well, Donald, I do hope you'll reconsider to meet me on the debate stage. If you've got something to say it to my face.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Obviously, Kamala Harris is not tough. Okay, we know this. Number two, the bottom line is he doesn't need to debate. He's not scared to debate. You need this debate more than him, which is why you're dropping this ad to bait him into another debate. Number three, you spend all day long crying about the fact that Donald Trump whines and he's mean and we don't need that in our leadership, but then you drop an ad like this. Doesn't make any sense. So I don't buy that one bit. And the reason why I don't buy all that is because the New York Times Sienna poll just dropped today, showing the continued support for Trump, that the perception that people are looking at this election is with the issues, the economy, immigration, and Donald Trump is winning on those issues. Let's take a look. This is a poll where you had 2,055 people participate from September 21st to September 26th. Now, the one thing I want to bring your attention to, I've been saying this on the X platform for a while now, and I want to bring it up again. If we go down to the question, who are you going to vote for, right? And we look under gender, the total percentage of women who participated in this poll comes in at 51%. The amount of men who participated in this poll comes in at 47%. So what does that mean and why does it matter? It means that more women responded to this poll. And why does it matter? Is because we know women are overwhelmingly supporting Kamala Harris. And when you do polls, you don't want it 51-47. You want it 50-50 as much as you, I mean, 51-49 is good. 50-50 is perfect. But once you go under 48-47 and she's 51-52, okay, now it's not balanced. And it just speaks to, obviously, why the polls are not as accurate as they could be, and also the support for Trump. So the first question out of the gate is what we're looking at right here, where it says, if the 2024 presidential election were held today, who would you vote for? Kamala or Donald Trump? Donald Trump gets 48%, she gets 47%, and this is an average between Michigan, Ohio, and Wisconsin. Okay, here's the second thing that we should look at. What one issue is most important in deciding your vote this November? The first is the economy, comes in at 27%, then abortion, and then immigration. So the top three, Trump has two of them, Kamala Harris has one. The third one, which candidate do you think would do a better job of handling the issue you think is most important to you? Donald Trump comes in at 49%, Kamala Harris comes in at 46%. So what does that mean, and why does it matter? Well, it means that overall, who do people trust more to get stuff done? That's Donald Trump. Okay, so here's the meat and potatoes of this entire poll. Regardless of how you might vote, tell us whether you trust Kamala Harris or Donald Trump to do a better job on each of the following. So on the economy, Donald Trump is up 54%, Kamala Harris is down to 42%. On abortion, Kamala Harris is 54%, Donald Trump is 40%. So it's like a flip-flop, right? Immigration, 53% for Trump, 43% for Harris. And so if we just scroll up just a little bit and go back to it, what were the top three issues? The economy, abortion, immigration, right? So those are the actual detailed numbers on why Trump wins on immigration and the economy, and then he loses on abortion. Now, here's a bombshell question that I think this really describes the whole point in this election. Like, if you want to summarize it, check this out. Do you think Donald Trump's policies have helped people like you, hurt people like you, or haven't made much of a difference either way? 46% of people who participated in this poll said Donald Trump's policies has helped people like them. Compare that to Kamala Harris. She comes in at 37%. In fact, 43% of people think her policies actually hurt people like them. So that's not good whatsoever. So if you enjoyed this video so far, what you could do for us is like, share, and subscribe to this channel. If you want to support us further, go to the link in the description, grab yourself a t-shirt, or buy us a cup of coffee. And of course, the Trump campaign dropped another campaign ad highlighting the lies from Kamala Harris today that played during the football game, specifically in Georgia, Arizona, and Pennsylvania. Watch this.
Kamala Harris is lying, saying she'll keep us safe. But Kamala's been soft on crime since day one. As San Francisco District Attorney, Kamala let violent criminals go free, including Devondre Broussard, who brutally assaulted a man. And when Kamala put him back on our streets, he murdered two innocent men in cold blood. Kamala Harris has always put criminals first. Don't make America her next victim.
Okay, so final points for you. Donald Trump has been busy this entire week. Every single day he did a rally. That's number one. Number two, 3 times this week, polling has dropped that has shown negative progress as it pertains to Kamala Harris. 3, Kamala Harris attempted to troll Donald Trump at the Alabama and Georgia game. And obviously no one's hearing what she had to say because that entire crowd was for Donald Trump. So that was interesting. 4, the polls today just confirm again that Donald Trump wins on the economy, immigration. I don't understand why they never ask people about foreign policy, but I bet he'd be winning on that too. But anyways, she's still and only winning on abortion. So that's my opinion. I think today, once again, she got humiliated just like she did on Friday when she tried to visit the border. That didn't work. She tried to humiliate Trump at the Alabama-Georgia game. That didn't work. She thinks that she's winning this election. That didn't work because more polls dropped today showing that. But I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are and more in the comment section below. Thank you for checking out the video today. Stay grateful, stay focused, and stay true. Peace.